Hello and welcome to my second quick tutorial for Leo Whitefang. This video builds on the last one and is focused on Leo's non-backturn slash and heavy slash ground normals. I really wanted to pack everything into one video for these two sets of normals, but there's honestly too much information to cover everything about them in 5 minutes. So this is going to be a two-parter, but this video and the next are intended to be watched and digested together. We'll briefly overview how these normals interact with each other, then the next video will go more into detail about the H normals and tie everything together. Without any further time wasting, let's jump right in. Leo's Gatlings. Since we're going to be talking about Leo's slash and heavy slash normals, one characteristic that is unique to Leo in this game is how his cancels work with these buttons. That was a lot of cancels, wasn't it? Leo is quite privileged in that he's able to cancel any slash normal into any heavy slash normal and vice versa. It can't be overstated how great this is in a game like Strive, where Gatlings are fairly limited. This lets you crank their wrist gauge and build a ton of meter. With that said, we're ready to talk about each attack. Close slash. If you happen to be new to Guilty Gear, slash normals are generally proximity based, meaning if you're close to the opponent, you'll get a close slash, but if you're further away, you'll get a far slash. One important and maybe not so intuitive point about this is that the proximity is exclusively based on the horizontal distance to the opponent, not vertical. This is relevant in several combo conversions for Leo, especially on an airborne opponent, because Leo's close slash also ground bounces them and some combo routes are only possible this way. Bearing that in mind, let's talk about the other properties of close slash. The reward for being close enough to perform this move is that it's only 7 frame startup, on par with 2K, but it's also only -2. This makes it great for staggers. On paper, being -2 should mean you can punish it with a throw, because normal throws are 2 frame startup. However, that logic doesn't hold here. The fantastic pushback on close slash means you need to instant block it in order to throw punish it. Instant blocking in Strive has only a 2 frame window to time it correctly, so if someone does this to you, take it as a sign you're being way too predictable. From here, close slash has a number of cancel options. If you want to go low, you can use 2S. If you want a mid with a lot of block stun, you can use 5H, or if you're close enough, 2H. If your opponent's being super respectful, you can undo some of the pushback by canceling into 6H. You can even cancel into far slash or 6K if you want. 6K is particularly useful if you want to consider resetting pressure again without doing it off of close slash itself, since, like mentioned in the last video, 6K is only slightly minus. Lastly, close slash is also a great punish tool, as it leads to good damage and one of the best knockdowns Leo has. We've covered a lot so far, so let's do a quick recap. Slash normals cancel into heavy slash normals, and heavy slash normals cancel into slash normals. Close slash is only -2 on block, but with pushback that makes it unpunishable by throw without instant block. Close slash has a plethora of cancel options in the heavy slash normals, but don't forget about far slash and 6K. Close slash is also a good move for punishing if you can't get it punished with a heavy normal. We'll talk more about the cancel options themselves in their respective sections. Far slash. In addition to being a cancel option, this normal is your primary long-range poke. In terms of other characters, it's most similar to Kai's far slash, but with a little worse frame data on whiff and block. The main difference is in how much better Leo's overall block string options are. That being said, far slash can be whiff punished fairly easily as it has a lingering extended hurtbox, so you generally don't want to whiff this move. It can be whiff cancelled into the held S guard point stance, but this takes about 11 frames, and both the hurtbox and frame data of far slash make it comparatively worse than 5H to use for this purpose, unless some misdirection is involved. Another thing to be wary of is that far slash is easily low profilable with sweeps, 6Ps, and more. Lastly, your cancel options from far slash are any heavy slash normal. That's about it for far slash, so to recap, far slash is your fastest long range poke. It extends a large hurtbox and has a lot of punishable recovery, so avoid whiffing it. It can be low profiled by many things. You can cancel part of the recovery even on whiff to go into the held S guard point stance, and you can cancel into any heavy slash normal. 2S. In addition to being a low hitting cancel option from close slash or any blocked heavy slash normal, 2S is one of Leo's only disjointed normals. It's -7 on block, so it's not amazing for setting up pressure resets, but the disjointed hitbox makes it pretty good for stopping people challenging resets from other normals. Additionally, this move has a better low-profile hitbox versus air moves than 2K does. You can sometimes even situationally use it to bait certain defensive options. 2S is also critical for wall bounce loops with Leo, and can be useful as a whiff cancel from 2H during combos. 2S also has some limited use for converting off trades with an airborne opponent. Lastly, Gatlings from 2S are identical to far slash. To conclude for 2S, it hits low, it's a disjointed normal with a decent low profile hurtbox. You can utilize these properties to safely bait certain options. It leads to corner loops on air hit, it can be used as a frame kill from 2H, and it has pretty much the same Gatling options as far slash, excluding the guard point stance. That about wraps up this portion. The next part will go over the heavy slash normals in detail, then we'll put it all together and see how both sets of normals complement each other. If you enjoyed the content here, please like and subscribe. Also check out my Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. Thanks for watching!